I heard that the girls needed to be reminded of who they are, so that's exactly what we're getting into in today's topic. If you are new here, my name is Daisy, and welcome to the space that empowers you to become the best version of yourself, one sip at a time. I feel like this is one topic that we can kind of all relate on, and it's when you're in a season of your life where you're just not feeling like yourself. And I want to share with you guys my tips and the things that I do to get back to my center, because I don't always think it's about creating a whole identity shift or just becoming a completely different person. Sometimes it's genuinely just about getting back to your core center and reminding you of who you are. I do believe that it all starts with the identity and what you choose to believe about yourself, because when you are in a season of change or in a season where you don't recognize yourself, whether that's from a breakup or postpartum or grief or whatever the case is, when you are in that state, I feel like you start to really consume other people's opinions, or even if it's social media, girl. Social media has a really bad tendency to do this to you. If you are scrolling too much, you start to pick up on identities that are not your own. So I feel like this tip right here is so important, and that is to remind yourself of who you are. And one way that I really enjoyed to do that is by journaling. When I was at a point where freshly postpartum, girl, where everything looked so different for me, I did not recognize the woman that I saw in the mirror. All of my habits were different, my boundaries, my routines, everything was so different for me. And when I truly did not feel like myself, and I didn't feel that way in that moment. In that moment, I feel like I was kind of in like a little bit of a haze in a sense, until I was kind of freshly out of it. And then I started to realize one day that I really looked in the mirror and I'm like, okay, who are you? Like, who are you going to choose to believe that you are? Because I really feel like you start to take in other people's opinions and start to form them as your own identity. And what really helped me is journaling. I talk about journaling so much, and I really have to go in and do some research, girl, on like the science behind this, because something that journaling just really does to me is brings me back to my center. Like, it just helps remind me of who I am simply by writing down my affirmations. I write down the things that I am confident in, the things that I love about myself, instead of always focusing on my downfalls. And that's not to say that you should ignore your weaknesses and not try to improve and be 1% better every single day. But what are you going to choose to be your identity, and how you're going to present yourself, and the things that you are going to believe that you are. And I really believe that that is where confidence comes from. As much as you could be the most beautiful person in the room, you guys, but what really shows your long-lasting confidence is your internal and who you believe that you are. If you do not believe all of these good qualities about yourself, or if you're not confident in who you know that you are, you're going to really start to consume other people's opinions, and you're going to create that identity for yourself, and you're not going to be happy with it. Now, I'm not going to say this is going to come easy or it's going to come right away, but it's going to take consistency and reminding yourself over and over of who you are. And one misconception that I see all the time about confidence is that you're born with it. And, confident people are just naturally confident, and that is not true. Confidence is something that you practice over and over again, and journaling really helps me do that. And it's as simple as like, even sometimes I will do like some tasks for myself, or ask myself some questions that I've never asked myself, like, what is your favorite color? Like, it could literally be so simple as questions like that. Like, what is your favorite color? What is your favorite movie? But the quicker that you are able to answer those, it just helps aid and build that confidence, because you know who you are. You know what you like. You know what you value. You know your morals. Everything about yourself. You are so in tune with yourself that you even know your weaknesses. And it's not something that you allow to consume or create your entire identity. I mean, at the end of the day, your identity is your choice, because people are always going to get different versions of you. Girl, you could speak to one person and they might think that I'm a bitch, or that I'm whatever. You could speak to the other person and they might think that I am the most amazing person on this planet. Everyone is going to have a different version of you, but that's why it's so important that you know who you are, so that you're able to make a full circle and get back to your center. And this is not a form of manifestation. You guys know how much I love speaking about manifestation, the law of attraction, and just being able to really create your dream life on your own terms. Now, this is something that is about intention. You have to be intentional about the way that you are speaking to yourself, because if you're constantly speaking to yourself in a negative manner, and I will give you guys a perfect example. When I was in the thick of postpartum, girl, my hair was falling out. I had gained so much weight. The things that I was thinking about and the way that I was speaking to myself internally, ate at me so much. And honestly, our lives are so beautiful. We have so much to look forward to that we cannot continue to be our own biggest bullies. So really think about the person that you want to be. Like, do you want to be someone who's disciplined? Do you want to be someone who's resilient, someone who's brave, someone who enjoys getting out of their comfort zone? When you really start to talk to yourself and figure out the things and the qualities that you want to hold as your identity, girl, start to write those down in your journal. Write them in the present tense as I am disciplined, I am resilient, I am strong. Whatever it is that you are wanting to take on as your identity, practice that and continue that and write it down every single morning before the world, girl, starts to tell you who you should be. You need to know who you are. Now, the next thing that I want to get into are your daily habits, because I believe that this is very crucial to getting back to your center. Look at your day and look at your routine and see what it is that you're continuing to repeat every single day that is keeping you stuck, girl, and continuing to take the life out of you. So for example, I used to treat getting ready, putting myself together every day as something that was more of a chore and something that I only did when I was stepping out of the house. Now, I quickly learned that as a stay-at-home mom, it is so important that I show up in my best version of myself if I want everyone else to get the best energy. I really began to shift that mindset, and that helped me so much to remind myself of who I am. I am someone who puts effort into my day, whether or not I'm stepping out of the house, because truly waking up every single morning is an occasion, and it's something that is worth getting ready for and making myself feel like the baddest version of myself. And something that contributes to that is getting ready, playing with my makeup, and doing things that make me feel a little bit more creative, a little more girly, and just kind of step into my feminine side just a little bit more, because truly the way I look is the way I feel sometimes. If I wake up and go straight from pajamas into some sweatpants and my hair's a mess and whatever, that is how I'm going to feel, and that is how I'm going to view the rest of my day, and all of the habits are going to feel like a chore that I still have to get done. But if I get them done while I'm feeling cute, I even want to film a little bit more, I want to create more content. Like, the energy just shifts so much within me when I put more effort into myself and I start my day by being a little bit more creative and I'm pushing out a little bit more of my feminine side. I also want to talk about social media and scrolling on social media, because I will speak on this over and over again because I've seen the things that it has done to my mental health. If you're consistently focusing on what other people are doing in their life or what they have going on, you're going to forget to put that energy into your own life. It's going to become so much easier to get that little hit of dopamine to scroll and just see all of the happiness and all of the good moments in everyone else's life that you really forget to see those moments in your life. So for me, what has really helped is to not get on social media the first 4 hours that I'm awake. So if I wake up at 6 a.m., I'm not going to get on social media until about 10 a.m. And that has really helped me to just focus on my own life before I get on social media and focus on everyone else's life. And that has truly done wonders to my mental health and really helped me get back to my center and start to value myself a lot more. And girl, all of these habits are not about being cute, being aesthetic, or just for the content. It's really about reconnecting with yourself and what you want your life to look like. Our life is truly so valuable that would you want to wake up and start focusing on what everyone else is doing? Or would you prefer to wake up and just focus on the little moments, no matter how big or how small that they are? I really believe that in this era that we are in, we are getting a little bit out of touch with our day-to-day lives. Actually, not a little bit, girl. We are getting very out of touch. And the things that we are starting to prioritize are getting a little bit crazy. That's not to say that there's still a lot of positivity that comes from social media, but I also believe that it is very important that sometimes you just take a step back, focus on your own life, make sure you are good mentally and within your heart before you start to really care about and focus on, again, what other people are doing. In other words, girl, mind your business, okay? Mind your business, stay in your lane, and stay so focused in your life that everyone else starts to look at your life like, oh, that's what I want to do. Your mind truly becomes what you feed it. That leads me into my next topic or tip, and that is to really figure out your environment and take a look at your environment. If you're constantly surrounding yourself with gossip, chisme, girl, if you're constantly surrounding yourself with complaints and always being so focused on your past, this is your reminder that your past does not define your future. You have to let it go, girl. If you want to be at peace and be okay with yourself and be able to move on and create the life of your dreams, you have to let it go. No matter how much it hurts, no matter how much someone hurt you, no matter how much you want to throw something in someone's face, you have to let it go to protect your own peace. So whether it's certain thoughts that you have to stop believing or cutting off someone in your environment that you feel like is just bringing in so much negativity, girl, you have to do that. lot to protect your peace and get back to your core center, because you will become what you feed your brain, because it really becomes your inner dialogue and the way that you speak to yourself. You really have to protect your mind and your brain like you would your home, girl. You're not gonna let any evil person come into your house. You have to protect your brain the exact same way, because your brain will start to believe someone else's thoughts. And it kind of goes back into what I was saying earlier. You will start to take hold of everyone else's identity, or whoever that is, whether it's social media, someone in your life, whoever. You start to take on that identity as your own, no matter how much growth you've done. So it's so important to take a look of what is really affecting you mentally, so that you can be the best version of yourself and you can get back to your center and remember who you are. Now, the very last thing that I want to talk about, which is so important, and that is choosing what you want to focus on. Focus on the positive. And I feel like I kind of talked a little bit about this in the beginning as well. When you believe in your good qualities, or focus on your good qualities instead of your negative qualities, I believe that the same is with the blessings in your life. Because as much as we have seasons where we are so overwhelmed or we're not feeling like ourselves, there's still so much beauty in the chaos. And sometimes you just really need to be reminded of that so that you can focus on the good. And that's not to say, again, to ignore some of the bad things, because there are things that you can't ignore, girl. Like if there's someone around you that you need to just like let go, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship, girl, if you have to let it go, you have to let it go. Now, leading into the next thing that I really want to talk about, which I think is so crucial, and I think that this has to be one of the biggest things that truly helps me get back to my center, and that is to focus on my blessings. And that's not to say to ignore the bad things, because if you can't change it, girl, let it go. If it's something that is in your control and you can change, then do it. I'm talking about the blessings and the good things in your life that you once prayed for and you once wanted, and now that they're a little bit harder, you kind of start to get into a state of fight or flight. But that's not the case. Just because things are hard does not mean that they are bad. It just means that you are growing. It means that you are evolving. And I needed to remind myself of that. And I don't want anyone to confuse what I'm saying. I still think it's so important to be self-aware and know if you're in a situation that you can change and get out of. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you are in a situation that you are happy in, but there's still hard moments, start to focus on your blessings. Girls, sometimes our brain can make things feel so much harder than what they really are. And when you start to be self-aware about that, it's really easy to challenge those thoughts, because we get so focused on everything that's missing in our lives that we really forget to notice everything that's already here, and the things that we already have, and the things that we once prayed for that we are currently living in now. So amiga, if you're in a season right now where you do not recognize yourself, I want you to know that you do not need to completely change yourself. I want you to start with one promise to yourself and actually keep it. Then you keep another, and then another, and then another. Amiga, confidence is not built by your exterior or in one moment. It's about all of the little moments that accumulate to the person that you are, and the promises that you continue to keep to yourself. And then you really start to become someone that you can trust. To close off this conversation, you are one habit away from remembering who you were all along. I really want to keep the conversation going in the comments, so let me know what you guys think about these tips, or if there's anything else that you do to help you get back to your center. You don't know who's reading the comments, girl, so if you can help someone else out or give advice on things that have helped you, I love to read them and I love to be here for it. And if you enjoy this type of content of leveling up and becoming the best version of yourself, I would really love a thumbs up just to kind of let me know that you guys are enjoying what I'm talking about or the topics that I am speaking on. And make sure to subscribe, amigas, so that you do not miss another episode of the Daily Cafecito. Las amo un chingo, and I want you girls to know that you are capable of so much more than your brain tells you. If your brain tells you you can do 10, girl, do 20. You got this, amiga. Have a happy Monday and a very good week, and I will talk to you guys on next week's episode. Adios.